Coming up, a meeting set to decide a land exchange between the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission and SpaceX is around the corner. We'll tell you when. Plus, how Black History Month is being celebrated here at home. Details ahead. And how seeing a resident's life responds to complaints regarding water issues at Unity Hall. KVAQ-TV starts now. Hey vaqueros, welcome back. This is the fourth spring edition of KVAQ-TV. Live from the studio, I'm Jared Palomares. Today is Monday, February 5th, and at the top of the newscast, a meeting aimed to settle a potential land exchange between the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission and SpaceX was rescheduled for March. Monica Chavez tells us why.
A work session originally set for January 24 to decide the exchange of land between SpaceX and Texas Parks and Wildlife was postponed to allow for public notice and comment.
The SpaceX case is a litmus test of how the Valley will handle controversies that will certainly come in the future.
The Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission directed staff to withdraw agenda item number 14, involving the swap of approximately 477 acres near the Laguna Atascosa National Wild Refuge Bahia Grande unit in exchange for 43 non-contiguous acres at Boca Chica State Park. Some professors argue a deal like this requires the public's opinion. Professor of Public Affairs and Director of the Center for Community Resilience Research, Innovation, and Advocacy at UTRGV, Cecilio Garcia, conducts research on the link between humans and the environment to answer questions like, how does the behavior of private and public organizations affect citizens' well-being?
The only places where that occurs is in spaces for public discussion. But we make sure that one view does not squash another view, that views come to the table equally with an equal space for deliberation, and that is through collaboration.
Executive Director of Business Development for the Americas Additive Foundry at the UTRGV Center, Mostafa Malki, emphasizes the need to weigh out potential negative costs and benefits.
These are industries of the future. This is where we are headed.
The TPWD official meeting statement says, and I quote, "While still under consideration, the potential land exchange could provide mutual benefits." The next work session for settling the exchange is scheduled for March 27 through 28. We reached out to SpaceX for comment but have yet to receive a response. For KVAQ-TV in Brownsville, Monica Chavez.
Today is the last day to register to vote. With primary elections coming up in March, early voting will run from February 20th to March 1st, and the last day to apply for mail-in ballots is February 23rd. The primary elections will determine which candidates proceed to the next phase in the election process, to determine the next U.S. President, U.S. Senator, and Representative, as well as state and county office holders. To register to vote, visit votetexas.gov. February is nationally known as Black History Month, a time to recognize Black history and culture. Julia Guerrero has more on how it's represented in the Valley.
According to the Library of Congress, Black History Month was established in 1976 and observed every February in the U.S. For those looking for ways to learn about Black History Month, do not have to look far, because we have some in our own community.
We don't need to leave the Rio Grande Valley to find out about Black history or brown history. It's all here. We need to do a little digging and find out how it really was and quit trying to hide it and face up to it.
That was Lonnie Davis, a San Benito Calandret Black History Museum board member. The museum is recognized as the first Black History Museum south of San Antonio and will be recognized by the Texas Historical Commission with a historical marker next month. San Benito Historical Society Treasurer Sandra Tumberlinson, who serves on the board for the museum, says the building was originally one of the first established schools for Black children in the 20th century.
This was the first school district to actually support a Black school. They didn't support it very well, but they did support it. It's in the record books.
Davis, who is also a former student of the Calandret School, encourages the community to explore some of the untold stories of Black history from our own area.
We would like people who move here to know there was rich Black history in the Rio Grande Valley.
Much like the museum, the African Students Association at UTRGV hopes to connect with the local African community. According to President and founder Jeffrey Opoku, Black History Month is a way to recognize the contributions of the Black community in the U.S. and celebrate the African heritage, much like ASA.
The whole idea was to kind of like foster the sense of Pan-Africanism and to bring us all together where we get to like celebrate our African heritage.
To learn more about the organization or museum, visit their page on Instagram at ASA_UTRGV or calandretmuseum.com. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Julia Guerrero.
UTRGV's Department of Housing and Residence Life responds to reoccurring water issues at the dorms. Andrea, what is happening at the dorms?
Recently, some student residents have voiced out concerns about a recurrent lack of hot water along other issues in the Unity and Heritage Hall. A student posted about the issue in the UTRGV students' Facebook page, where others also shared a similar experience. Integrated Health Sciences freshman Maria Aguirre lives at Heritage Hall and says the problem started in October. Aguirre says she communicated this to resident assistants through a group chat, but the issue was not addressed. Aguirre rates her experience in Heritage Hall as not bad but not the greatest, while saying she understands the dorms are one of the oldest.
I paid to live here, I just feel like those certain basic necessities should be provided to us.
Assistant Director of Residence Life for Edinburgh, Monica Vera, emphasizes the importance of using the right communication line when addressing dorm problems instead of relying on informal group chats.
And there was a delay between the group chat and getting to us. It was never intended to be an official reporting process. That official reporting process, we have somebody that's on call 24/7, and that particular person knows that they can contact the housing coordinator on call. And then what we really want to educate residents on is calling that RA on call is the first and foremost most important.
Biology freshman Melina Ortiz lives at Unity Hall and explains there was an instance where her dorm's toilet overflooded after a pipeline issue. Ortiz says she placed a work order 3 times and waited 5 days until the issue was fixed only after one of the students' parents complained.
I do wish that they could get back to us quicker, but I don't feel like we're the number one priority.
Vera says the department does follow maintenance schedules and is actively monitoring and repairing the water heating system to provide student residents with the best quality of dorm life. Residents can submit a work order request online through the department's website to have a maintenance issue fixed. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Andrea Flores.
UTRGV is highlighting local restaurants in its Community Corner Spotlight. Here's Dathan Trevino with the details.
The Community Corner Spotlight has changed every semester, adding new local restaurants such as South Padre Food Truck, Pineapple Ninja at the Student Union. This semester brought local food catering business Queuing It Up, a barbecue chain established in 2011 that caters to birthdays, weddings, graduations, and more, where they serve all kinds of barbecue such as ribs, brisket, and chicken. Queuing It Up founder Eric Cavazos says they received the opportunity after catering for multiple UTRGV events.
So far, at least on the outside, I'm getting a lot of pats on the back and dude, good job. Wow, you're in the school. That's awesome. You get to touch so many people, so many, different groups of people. It's been positive. Just, we're getting our name out, continuing to grow what Queuing It Up does, what we're about, and just showcasing our food and touching as many people as we can.
How do UTRGV students feel about the new restaurant? One psychology sophomore, Adam Garza, says he already spent half of his V-Bucks toward the business.
It's very different from anything else that they have here. We usually have noodles, tea, chicken sandwiches. So barbecue is not really a part of the menu often.
KVAQ-TV reached out to Chartwells for a comment on the selection process, but has not received a response. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Dathan Trevino.
Learning is an essential life skill, yet it is one some people take easier than others. Why is that? Tristan Cortez with the answer.
A study published by the National Institutes of Health last month looks to understand neurodivergent traits in children, traits that cause some children to learn and understand differently than others. The study finds neurodivergent traits such as autism and ADHD are exhibited in different ways for boys and girls. Researchers find that boys' neurodivergent traits are more complex and easily spotted, leading to missed diagnoses for girls who exhibit more subtle social difficulties. This development is something Associate Professor of Child Psychology Cecilia Montiel Nava concurs with. Montiel Nava says the ongoing understanding of neurodivergent traits means many adults are only starting to recognize them in their lives.
We are seeing more and more autistic adults being diagnosed for the first time. These people were struggling their whole life because nobody noticed that they were, having difficulties because they didn't have any cognitive learning or language problems.
Difficulty in learning is something Rio Grande Valley Literacy Center Director Diana Garza Farias sympathizes with. The RGVLC provides education to adults who previously dropped out of school due to struggles earlier in life. Garza Farias says the mission of the center is important to her because of her own experiences as a child.
I know I had problems at those times. I just couldn't get across, and they liked my pretty face, so they passed me on.
Something that both Garza Farias and Montiel Nava recommend to build learning skills is reading, through physical books or even on a tablet. Montiel Nava says the resources available to children in the digital age can propel them to greater academic success.
These devices are the equivalent of ramps for people with motor disabilities. We are opening to many options and to a better quality of life.
For more information on this story, visit our KVAQ-TV website. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Tristan Cortez.
Thank you, Tristan, and thank you for joining us. Make sure to watch us Monday through Friday on VCast monitors and social media. For KVAQ-TV, I'm Jared Palomares. Have a great week, vaqueros.